G'day there guys, I'm pretty good at things and stuff, but I'm exceptional at this and that. It's your host Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you loved today's episode, I want you to smash that like button, sit back, relax, and enjoy the bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user TA Sorry Not Sorry. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not liking how my girlfriend dresses for work? So, I, 43 male, don't think I'm in the wrong here. But my mother is very angry at me, and my best friend said I was a horrible person for saying what I did, and I'd be lucky if my girlfriend didn't put me out with the garbage, since I decided I wanted to act like trash. My girlfriend, 34 female, is a preschool teacher, and for some reason I can't explain, she dresses like Miss Frizzle, like a dress with a pattern of whatever they are studying. She makes a lot of them herself, now including matching masks. The kids love it, and the parents seem to think it's great. I don't like the amount of attention she gets, honestly. I'd prefer if she came home and changed before running any errands. On Friday, she helped my mum with something after work, and she was still in her weird dress. I have told her before I don't like when she dresses that way, but she tells me I don't have to like it, but I have no right to tell her how to dress. I was upset that she went out like that with my mother, and told her that my mum said she was embarrassed and to ask that she please not dress like that again if they are going out. I was not expecting her to call my mum and apologize. When my mum asked her what she meant, she told her what I said. My mum was furious. Explains she doesn't have a problem with how my girlfriend dresses, and thinks it's great she spends extra time doing things to engage her students. My mum then yelled at me for lying to my girlfriend and trying to throw her under the bus because I was being an insecure jerk. My girlfriend and I got into a huge fight. I said she should be embarrassed to be seen in public like that. She said the only thing she was embarrassed by was me. She hasn't spoken to me or done anything for me since. My friend said I was horrible and called me trash. I shouldn't have lied, but I think my girlfriend should take what I think about her clothes into consideration, and I'm not sorry for expecting her to dress more appropriately in public. Am I really such an a-hole here? Edit, I'm sure you will all be pleased to know we broke up tonight. She said I'm controlling and narrow-minded, so she broke up with me. I just wonder why some people post on Am I the a-hole like this? Like, do you not get halfway through the post and then you read it back and you're like, oh god, maybe I'm the problem. Yeah, I might be the problem. Is it an ego thing with these people? Because it's just obviously dripping in toxicity, the entire post. I just think it's apparent that these two are not a match for each other. He wants someone that's boring and mature and will dress appropriately like a 1950s lady and not have any sense of individuality, just blend into the crowd and to live your life and eventually die one day and never have fun, never have fun. It's not a good idea, don't do any of that. You suck, OP. Please mature and find someone boring for yourself that will bore you to death because screw you. Bro, what? You're the a-hole. Mrs. Frizzle is a treasure. She is not to be disrespected. If I had a teacher like that when I was in school, I would have loved it. Enthusiastic teachers are the best. I had multiple teachers like that in high school, and they were hands down the best teachers the school had to offer. They just put so much effort into their lessons, you can't help but appreciate them. So I was a science teacher with red hair, and my students gifted me a Mrs. Frizzle costume. I took it to be the greatest honor my students could bestow. A bunch chipped in, and it was a whole thing. I once wore it while chaperoning a dance, and it became the stuff of legend. You're the a-hole. You don't understand why a preschool teacher would dress in bright, fun, educational outfits? This can't be for real, can it? My co-workers wear fun patterned dresses. We work with college students and everyone likes how she combines her personal quirky taste with nice dresses. OP is the a-hole. Hell, I work in an auto repair shop with my husband. I wear the most random leggings. My favorites are the ones with multicolored cat heads on them. My husband has never once complained about the way I dress. He laughs sometimes when I forget to do laundry and come to work in 4 different patterns, looking like I got dressed in the dark. But he's never said a word. OP is definitely the a-hole. Posted by user sunnyday6884. Titled, Am I the a-hole for taking back my nephew's Christmas present and giving it to my son? My sister and I have always had a strained relationship. I usually just let things go and try to keep the peace. We both have sons who are around the same age. My nephew is 13 and my son just turned 11. For my son's birthday, I bought him the new gaming system he has been wanting. He was absolutely thrilled and he plays non-stop. My sister is bad with money. I usually have to lend her money for bills and stuff for my nephew. I know my nephew doesn't always get the best Christmas gifts, so this year I went a little crazy and I purchased the same gaming system for him for Christmas. I already had it ready and wrapped under my tree. Yesterday, my sister's family came to visit. My son asked me if they could go play video games. I said yes and reminded them to be careful. About 30 minutes later, my son comes running to me crying. I asked him what was wrong and he led me to the front hall. When we get to the stairs, I see the new system smashed on the floor. Someone had thrown it from the upstairs, and it was now smashed to pieces. I asked my son what happened, and he sobbed and pointed at his cousin. I asked my nephew if he did this, and he started to laugh. He said that it was a stupid baby toy, and that he saw people break them online. Bloody TikTok. My sister came in, and I told her what happened. I explained that this was an expensive system and that her son needs to be disciplined for what they did. I told her I wanted her to pay for what her son broke. She laughed and said no. She says I shouldn't have let them play unsupervised, that it was my fault and that I am a bad parent. She said my son will get over it and that it was not important. Seeing my son sitting on the ground next to his broken system trying to put the pieces back together tore my heart out. I walked over to the Christmas tree and grabbed the system that was meant for my nephew. I pulled the gift wrap off and gave it to my son and told him to go upstairs and set it up. My sister asked me why I was making such a big deal when I had another one already. I then laughed and told her that was her son's Christmas gift, that since it wasn't important and it was just a stupid baby toy, then they obviously won't miss it. I then told them to leave. My nephew realized what happened and began to cry that my son had stole his system. I said no, his was the one that he smashed. My sister was livid and told me that I will never see them again. I just said, okay, and slammed the door. Other family members have been calling me non-stop and saying I am an a-hole and that I ruined my nephew's Christmas. I don't think so though. My nephew is 13. He is not a stupid kid and he knew what he was doing. I don't care that it was over jealousy. He is old enough to know better. My sister was not going to make the situation right, so I just did what I had to do. They all think I should buy another new system for him, but I don't have that kind of money. I'm starting to feel bad about this, and I am wondering, am I the a-hole? No, screw that kid. He just got that off TikTok and he's like, oh, it's going to be a fun trend. And he didn't even record it for TikTok, so what was the point of doing it? He's just going to spread misery. He's doing it for a laugh. He's just being a bully. Give him the treatment he deserves. Screw this kid. And then screw the mum for trying to reward that behavior. What's going through her head? No, not acceptable. We're leaving that behavior in 2020. We're done with it. We're going to wash our hands clean. Goodbye, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Your sister's terrible parenting ruined her kid's Christmas. Your nephew's jealousy ruined his own Christmas. It's entirely possible that your sister has spun a lie to the extended family, so be sure the flying monkeys have the full story in your responses to them. What part of my nephew deliberately smashing my son's console Telling us he had seen it done online and insulting the gaming system is acceptable in your eyes. How is my sister refusing to take responsibility for the damage or for disciplining her son acceptable in your eyes? I bought 2 consoles. My nephew deliberately smashed one. I won't be buying a third. If you think that sort of behavior deserves to be rewarded, feel free to buy a console for the nephew yourself. OP replies, "That's a great response. I might just use that." I think she's telling our family a lie about what happened to make herself the victim. She's kinda known for this kind of thing. Not the a-hole. Your sister just disrespected you and your child and doesn't care enough to discipline hers. Her son will grow up to be an entitled jerk. You did nothing wrong. Just taught them a lesson that I hope they learn. Probably won't though. My nephew isn't a terrible kid all the time, but he has some serious rage issues. My sister refuses to listen to reason and won't get him help. The school board even tried to step in, but now she just homeschools him instead. Oh Lord, this is not going to end well. Posted by user Room Swap Am I the A-hole? Titled, "Am I the a-hole for trying to force my stepson to move out of his bedroom so my daughter can move in?" I've never used this site before, but my daughter uses it pretty regularly and suggested that I post here. I have a daughter and a stepson who I will call Carly and Kyle. Carly 15, Kyle 18. They've never been particularly close. Kyle tends to avoid myself and Carly like the plague. He hasn't bothered even trying to build a relationship with us. I have been with Kyle's dad since the kids were 10 and 13. Due to some personal troubles, which I'll not go into detail about, Kyle stays with his dad, though his mother will visit fairly regularly and they are in constant contact. She, of course, believes me to be the a-hole in this situation. Kyle has stayed in the attic since I knew him. His parents had the attic converted into a proper bedroom for him when he was around 9 or 10. It is an absolutely stunning room. Plenty of space, nice furniture, and it's currently inhabited by several dressmaking dummies as he is studying fashion at university. Lately, Carly has asked me if she can stay with me full time. She and her dad are just not getting on, and she'd prefer living with me. Her dad is absolutely fine with this, as he was never really good with her in the first place. This means that the majority of Carly's things will be at our place. She has a lot more things than Kyle, and would most likely need more space. That's why I thought it'd be a better idea to have Kyle move into Carly's slightly smaller bedroom downstairs, and Carly can move into the attic bedroom. I even offered to pay for whatever Kyle wants for his new bedroom, regarding wallpaper, paint, posters, etc., as I know it is a bit of a change for him. Kyle is not a fan of the idea, and has been complaining about how he needs the space to work on his uni projects. I told him that he is more than welcome to use the dining room, as we rarely ever use it, and we can clean out one of the storage cupboards to store the dummies in. Kyle's partner is also not a fan of this, though I am almost 100% sure that this is just because in the attic bedroom, they can do whatever teenagers do without interruption. I think that Kyle is being a bit overdramatic about this, as I'm not kicking him out into the street, just into a smaller bedroom, which I have offered to decorate for him. His father is not completely sold on the idea, but is slowly coming around. He also thinks that Kyle is being a bit dramatic regarding the room situation. Kyle's mother and girlfriend, and of course Kyle himself, all think that I'm being an a-hole. Am I the a-hole? Edit. The people who are bringing up Kyle paying rent. He pays us £100 dig money per month. He wanted to start paying rent to help his dad out. We did not force him, and we will be expecting Carly to start paying rent when she's old enough too, so that Kyle is not singled out. Yes, Kyle's dad did cheat on his ex with me. His ex-wife was in a bad place, and it put a lot of stress on Kyle's dad. I had not long divorced my husband, Carly's dad, and I was in a bad place. We got drunk and did something stupid. Neither of us intended for it to turn into anything more, but it did. I regret my comment about how Kyle's mum should have got her crap together. I was a bit stressed when I wrote that. And lastly, regarding the absurd claims that I am biphobic and homophobic, I'm not. My brother is a gay man, and one of my best friends is a bisexual gentleman. Kyle's relationships up until this point have barely made it past 2 months. He sleeps around when he's not in a relationship with someone. Thankfully, not in the house, as that can be dangerous. I do not want Carly thinking this behavior is okay, as I know how dangerous it can be. Kyle is not my son. He has made that abundantly clear, but I have provided him with condoms in the past to make sure he stays safe. I just don't want Carly to start acting like him. Finally, you'll all be very glad to know that I'm not pushing the subject any further. Kyle can keep his room. I'll just tell Carly that she's going to get rid of her belongings. Thank you. Second and last edit. I was stressed when I wrote about Carly getting rid of her things. She's going to put her things in the storage cupboard and the dining room. I wouldn't make my child throw her things away. I was just angry. Also, my worries about Kyle are in no way the same as what happened with his dad and I. We were drunk, it was a stupid mistake that turned into something more, I was not sleeping around, Kyle's dad was the one that it happened with. Kyle has multiple sexual partners, and I worry that he isn't being safe all the time, and that this could be a bad influence on Carly. Kyle is keeping his bedroom. Carly is making do with the smaller bedroom. She also has found the thread and is upset with the amount of hate she is getting in the comments. Does it make you lot feel good to make a teenage girl cry? You can call me whatever you want. I might even deserve it. But my daughter has done nothing wrong. Though I'll be sure to let Kyle know that you lot have deemed him Mr. Perfect. I think we can just extrapolate from that indeed OP is the a-hole in this situation. You can always tell by, of course, extended monologue post the story itself when they have to put so many edits up to try and justify their actions. And it just gets so much worse every time, I swear. Some people have quite some interesting life stories. I guess it might have been relevant to the story. It just makes me question you as a character that you've cheated and got into a relationship with this guy. How can either of you guys trust each other that you won't cheat on each other and repeat this same mistake later in the future? Yes, the bedroom situation sucks, but Carly never deserved that room. Kyle was always going to keep that room, and I hope he's happy and gets away from you guys eventually. You're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. You can't kick him out because you want your daughter to have his room. You give her what's available. Such a terrible thing you're trying to do. He's also paying rent. OP replied to my comment below saying so. You're the a-hole. That has been his room for years. Now you want to favor your own child. This is his space. He needs it for his studies. All of his points are valid. You are playing favorites and wanting to give your daughter the bigger room. Your reasoning makes 0 sense. Oh, she has more things. But then go, yeah, well, we can store his stuff downstairs. Yeah, so can she. Posted by user Eat Me Jabroni, titled, Am I the a-hole for storming out of a dinner with my wife and her best friend? So I went out to eat with my wife and her best friend. I don't like her friend because I think she's a very selfish, self-centered, loud, and irritating person to be around, and her friend knows that I hold that opinion about her. There is a lot more to it than that, but this post would be much too long if I was to go over the more in-depth reasons we don't get along. Anyways, because of my feelings towards her friends, they have been having issues within their own friendship. We all decided to go out to eat in order to make things better between us, and while self-admittedly her friend did kind of annoy me throughout, I thought the dinner had gone well. That all changed when the bill finally came. We had already decided to go half on the tip, and while I put $15 down, she thought it would be funny to pull out her purse and make a heart out of pennies for a tip. I saw that and asked if she was serious, to which she said, well, I just don't really believe in tipping. That upset me, so I pulled out my wallet, put an extra $10 down, and started getting up to leave. Her friend said, "What did I do?" And I told her, "I just don't feel like conversing with a piece of crap anymore." And I went to my car. When my wife came to the car, she began to yell at me. I told her I understood why she was angry, but that some people just don't get along, and that I felt it was best that her friend and I stop trying to get along. I don't control my wife, and she's allowed to hang out with anyone she pleases. So while I do see why her friend and I getting along would be ideal, I don't see why it's mandatory that we get along for their own friendship to work. Am I the a-hole for storming out like I did? I think, yeah, your interaction sucked, but hers did also. I feel like this is set in the US, and that, the crappy system you guys got going there, you need to tip, just so you can support the livelihoods of others. Kinda crazy how that do be a thing, though. So really, by proxy, she's saying, I don't feel like paying the waiters a living wage. Who do you think I am? I think that's a crappy thing to be saying, but I also think you attacking her like that when you should be amicable and friendly with your wife's friends, because you're intentionally screwing up her social life, and hey, you didn't swear an oath to your wife to, screw up her social life? You didn't do that when you got married, right? You swore to protect her. Kind of a dick move that you would do this. Yeah, she did a sucky thing, but you chose to up the ante and do a sucky thing also. You could have been the bigger man in this situation and, calmed yourself and humbled yourself and not done this. You could have done something that normal people would do, but you chose not to. So everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. I get that you hate the friends, and maybe she is annoying, and the tipping thing makes her an a-hole. But I definitely don't get the sense from this post that you're much of a peach yourself. I'm curious, how is OP an a-hole here? He respects his wife's right to maintain this friendship. He made an effort to try and overcome his dislike. They agreed, and going Dutch, and the friend reneged on the deal. When it came to a head, he paid her part and removed himself from the situation, and later showed understanding for his wife's anger. Maybe he could have handled it better, but the only problem I see is that his wife might have felt embarrassed. That is valid, but the actual source of that was her friend deciding to flaunt her unconventional, and in my opinion, disrespectful opinion when she knew she was at a peacemaking dinner. How is OP an a-hole here? He threw a temper tantrum instead of explaining that he wanted to leave a proper tip. Explain how he threw a temper tantrum, because it sounds like he said harsh words, but true words, and then removed himself from the table. Sounds like friend and wife were the ones having a temper tantrum. Calling someone a piece of crap is not harsh. It's a really rude and horrible thing to say about a person. You know what's rude and horrible? Leaving a handful of pennies obnoxiously arranged into a heart on the table for the waiter and waitress because you think you're cute. OP is not the a-hole in my opinion. Slightly not the a-hole. You probably could have handled that better, but your wife's friend is not your friend. If she wants to hang out with her, but their friendship is somehow strained, that's on your wife, not you. I don't see why your wife wants you to like her friend so badly anyways. Also, the pennies thing was a low move from her. My friend used to be a waitress, and when I asked her about that, she says that she would rather the customer just not leave a tip than make her clean all of those pennies off the table. Everyone sucks here. The adult thing to do would have been to cover her tip and bite your tongue, then discuss in private with your wife why you won't be spending another moment of your time with this woman. Your wife is a slight a-hole for continually trying to put you two in situations that are going to bring conflict, and frankly, for choosing such a person for a best friend. ETA, your wife is more than a slight a-hole for responding to your reaction by yelling at you for not keeping the peace. The friend is a major a-hole for agreeing to split the tip and then pulling some BS like this when it's time to settle up. If she didn't believe in tipping, she should have made that clear from the beginning. If she were genuinely interested in making peace to appease your wife, she wouldn't be creating unnecessary drama in this manner. She just as easily could have done the adult thing and chipped in for an appropriate tip, as she had said she would. Especially when you initially prompted her to not be an a-hole about it. You know what? No, it's not. And your advice is half the problem with modern society. Not calling out a-holes when they're being a-holes, especially when they're habitual a-holes, is how they get away with it. Calling her out for her bullcrap with the tip was the right move. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. As always, I want to do a huge shout out to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. You should be up on the screen now. I love you all, and I think every single one of you are amazing for supporting the channel in the way that you do. Again, thank you so much for supporting me. And again, if you did enjoy today's video, please do tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below. All of your hot takes, opinions, whatever you think, really, whatever's going on in your life right now, I'd love to hear down in the comments below. Before I leave, I'd also like to announce that I'm going to start doing meme content again on the second channel. I know it's been a while, so click on the Markee head on the screen without the Australian flag behind him if you want to go see some memes. And as always, guys, have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.